Hello, my name is Roger, and we'll just wait for a few stragglers to come along. Today we're going to be talking about insider threats, why they're targeting your organisation, and who they could be in such a level as the number of different types of insiders that we all seem to have when it comes to an insider breach. What we're trying to do is just give you an idea of what is happening. What I'm going to do right now is share my screen and we'll get right into it. Okay, so are insiders threatening your organization? A number of us don't realize the consequences of what can happen. My name is Roger Smith. I'm an author. I am a speaker and a lecturer at ADFA, which is a Australian Defence Force Academy at University of New South Wales. I'm a trainer. I do a lot of writing, and I study digital crime because I like digital crime and like the integration between how we can combat them and what they are doing. To get started, I've got a freebie for everybody. The freebie is literally go to that link and quite happily download it. It's free. All I want is your email address, and then we can go from there. So let's just get into this. The insider threat is a serious problem, but we need to understand how they fit into defense in depth. And then we'll go through the 7 types of people who can be an insider, and then how do we defend against those? And then where do we go from there and what you need to do afterwards? So defense in depth. Well, to start off with, to protect yourself, you need to have a physical access control system into your organization. So whether that's locks on doors, whether it's RFID cards coming into the office, all of these types of things are really important when you want to protect the information inside. We also have the next level is guidelines, instructions, policies and procedures and processes. So people know exactly what they are allowed to do, what they have to do and what they need to do. The next thing that we need to protect against is to have some sort of perimeter protection, whether that's including firewalls, intrusion detection, intrusion monitoring systems so that we can actually see what's happening. We then need to look at hardening those areas to make sure that services that are not needed are not running. And including in that is we need to have some way of tracking the logs and doing audits on what is in place. The next part we need to worry about is user management. And user management is, have you got admins or too many admin, or has everybody got admin access to your computer systems? And also, have those admins got email? The next one is patch management. And we've all seen patch management. Every time that Windows comes up and says, I've got updates to apply, it then comes down and quite happily goes, apply them without us intervening. And then finally, we've got endpoint protection. And endpoint protection is literally the step around the device itself. And then on top of that, once inside, you've got your data, and that is now protected and collected. This area is what we're really talking about, because your data and the insider, they're already interacting, and you have this problem of your information being available to people who may not be interested in protecting that information, or B, are in wanting to steal it in malicious ways. So we have to be very aware of that. So there's 7 types of insiders. And those insiders come in many variations. And because they're already inside the network, they are a problem that most of us have to look at. So the first one is the convenience seeker. They try to bypass all the protocols you put in place. They find routine tasks too hard. They find them time consuming because they're way too busy doing their job. We've seen them all in business. They move around here and there. They have a tendency to start a number of jobs and never finish them, or they do finish them, but it's so haphazard, it's not funny. These people are too busy to create complex passwords, or too busy to apply updates, or too busy to allow the system to do its monthly scan. They are the people who get upset when it takes an IT person a couple of hours to remove that virus that he contracted by clicking on a link in email. These people are the ones who bypass the organization's cybersecurity. And they put the whole organization in danger because they do not respect everybody else's job. The solution to this is to get them to slow down, because they need to be able to step back and go, okay, the computer's told me I have to update, let it apply its updates. Or it needs to do a scan, so I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee while it does it. And that's a good way of controlling these type of people. The insider number 2 is the accidental victim. They don't think. They unknowingly cause damage without thinking about the consequences. They are too timid at work. They endanger the organization because they are not really au fait with computer systems and the way technology is going. And they are usually the long-time employees, people who have been part of not-for-profit organizations. These type of people, because they have lots of knowledge but no knowledge in the digital world. The best way to counteract this sort of insider is to educate them both in the use of the computers as well as what they can do and what they can't do through policies and procedures within the organization. The third type of insider is the I know everything. They are very good at sharing information. They share everything about themselves, about their abilities. To do that, they use the knowledge of the organization and let critical and confidential information slip out in email, on social media, and in meetings. And these are the people who are of the opinion that it will never happen to me, or I will never be targeted by a digital criminal. So the only way to counteract this is to emphasize the security importance and put them in a must-know situation. So in other words, if they don't need to know it for their job, they don't know it. The repercussions regarding information slips and let them know the consequences of those slips need to be reinforced to make sure that they understand what's going on. The fourth type of insider is the untouchable. These are definitely the people who think it will not happen to me. Every business has these type of people. They are the people who are indispensable, or according to them are indispensable. And they consider themselves not targets of cybercrime. It will never happen to me because I have nothing worth stealing. But the trouble is, with automated systems in today's world, a bored 14-year-old with a connection to the internet, minimal parental control, and a decent computer can wreak havoc on any one of these people because everyone is a target. And once again, the untouchable person, the best way to counteract it is to educate and train everyone so they are aware of the capabilities out there in the technical world. The fifth type is called the entitled. These are the people who think they need to know everything. Not because they are involved in the process, but it's because they need to know everything. These are the most dangerous, non-malicious insiders. They have the people's organization secrets on their laptops and their tablets. They use free Wi-Fi. They have no reason to keep all that critical information on their laptop, but they just have it because they work there. This creates two very, very serious problems. One, the information being stolen off that laptop, and the information being locked by cryptovirus, for instance. So the only way to manage the entitled is to actually segregate your internal network to a level where you can make sure that these people do not have access to all of the data they have no need to have access to. This way, you are managing them without allowing them to do stupid things. The first of the malicious insiders are the traitor among us. These are the people who either have got positions of power and are moving on. They're moving on to your competition. So they're going to try and get as much information out of you out of your organization as possible so they can leave and go to another organization. They have a grudge against the organization or someone in it. So they'll go out of their way to make sure that this information gets out there, and in that way make themselves look better, make someone else look smaller, and have this problem with how we're going to manage that. The solution to this is when you get the first inkling of someone is going to leave, walk him or her out the door. Make sure there's no company secrets, data, or property goes along with that individual. So you are protecting the integrity of your information. And the final one is the secret insider. The secret insider is the person, these are the true bad guys. These are the people within your organization who have infiltrated with some of the previous incarnations of the insider themselves. These are the bad guys. These are the ones you should be protecting your organization from. They may have infected or infiltrated your organization through social engineering, using exploits in your organization, or by putting the right systems in place to protect themselves so they don't be discovered. The only way to protect yourself from this is to increase awareness. Do a penetration test, review the report, then do it all again regularly, regularly. So people don't know that it's going to happen, but you are constantly being informed that you need to do another training program, or the training program is not focused on the right information. And that gives you that edge when you're coming to protecting your own information. But on top of that, there's also a combination. You can have the wary person who has been infected with a piece of malware. And these type of combinations then allow a malicious insider to be inside your network. The other things to worry about is you need to be proactive to make sure your entire team is educated and informed about the threats that are lurking online. Preparation and keeping more team members aware and alert makes your security a lot more robust. So what do we do about the insider? Well, we need to be very, very proactive. We have to have a look at our network and see what they're doing, and then go from there to make sure that we are protecting the information. We need to have people who are changing and monitoring jobs. So if someone is checking on that accounts person who's paying invoices, or checking on the person who's doing the HR, to make sure that you haven't got that level of insider not only allowing the bad guys in, but also stealing from you as an organization. We need to make sure there are education and training programs that highlight the visibility of why you need to protect yourself. And that visibility makes it very robust, because everybody then has an attitude that they need to protect the organization. And if you educate and train people to a level where they're protecting themselves, the flow-on effect to the organization is significant. And that's something that people do not realize when they start training people up. And the last one is you need to be vigilant. Those logs and audits that you're running all the time, they have information, and you need to have a look at that information to make sure that you are secure. So in conclusion, what you need to do is make sure that you are looking at what the insider could do to your organization, and from there make sure that you are protecting yourself as well as you can. On top of that, you need to be able to look at it and go, these people need to swap jobs. That way you can actually make sure that your organization is building resilience in it, because when Joe Blow from the accounts department wins the lottery and walks out, you have someone who can slot in there until someone else comes along that you're employed. And that's really important for your own organization anyway. So thank you very much for listening. I have a couple of other slides here. One is I have a program called By Me, literally is let's have a sit down and have a talk about what you need to do to protect yourself and your organization. If you use the discount code $100 off for me, then you will literally only pay $399 for an hour's sit down where we literally go through all of your organization's security and come up with a plan. And we will then give you a report on what you need to do. If you're really interested in it, I have a book, my second book, called Cybercrime, A Clear and Present Danger. And it's the CEO's Guide to Cybersecurity. And if you want to buy it, those are the links you need to go to. And you can contact us on social media and on just via normal email, or just go to the website and fill in the forms. We are on Twitter a hell of a lot. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Google+, and this video will be uploaded to YouTube on completion, and that will be available as well. We also do a number of webinars, and those webinars on using the 4 pillars of security: technology, compliance, adaptability, and God, I've forgotten what the last one is. Anyway, those 4 pillars are really important to making sure that your organization is secure. Thank you very much for your time. Are there any questions? Thank you. I think I will stop the broadcast now.